So now let's get into our call to action training. And this is a topic that is near and dear to my heart. It's one of my favorite things to talk about because it's the number one. I would say it's one of the top two, but definitely I think it's the top one. The number one reason why people think that they can't join this business or don't join this business is because they don't think they have enough time. It is one of the top, if not the top, it's in the top two. It might be number one. So when you're talking to people and you're helping them to understand, you're prospecting people, you're showing them the plan, you're helping them to take a look at a video, come to an event, go to a Zoom meeting, whatever it is, to get information in front of those prospects. And then that prospect has a choice, right? At the end, they have a choice. Do they want to join or do they not want to join? Well, one of the things that comes up a lot of times is I don't have a lot of time. So we're going to set the stage for this training by saying that you have, number one, you've shown the plan to your prospect. Okay, there it is. You've shown the plan to your prospect. You've followed up with your prospect. Okay, so you've shown them, either you're there face to face with them, they're at the meeting, you get back with them, you run through all of the things that we train you on, like what did you like best? Tell me a little bit more about what you liked about it. Okay, does that mean you're ready to get started? That type of thing. So you've followed up with the prospect. We're assuming that you did that. And then we're assuming the prospect isn't ready to join yet because they think they don't have time to do this. So now we've set the stage for this training. So now let's talk about the time objection, because when someone says, I just don't have time to do this, I'm too busy. You guys, if you're not hearing that, then you're not building this business, okay? You're not reaching out to enough people, okay? So increase your number of people somebody's going to say, yeah, I'm too busy I can't do that right now. So what do you say when someone says that? Okay? Because they think they're too busy. This is what I like to say in my mind. They just said they're too busy because they think they're too busy. That doesn't mean they're too busy. They just think that they are, until some other information is shared with them that can show them that maybe they're not too busy. They're going to think that. So why would we not, as advisors, why wouldn't we advise them that possibly what you're thinking about, like the amount of time that you think it takes to do this, is probably not as much as what you think. So they think they're too busy. So now let's talk about the time objection. If someone says, look, I'm too busy, I don't have time for this, first of all, I like to ask them right up front, well, how much time do you think it's going to take? And I can guarantee you, if you ask them that question, like, how much time do you think it's going to take? None of them are going to say, well, you can do this in 30 minutes a week. They're all going to say, this is probably many, many hours a week to do this. And I just don't have time in my schedule for that. So there's a gap between what's actually possible in this business from a time perspective and what the prospect who said they don't have enough time actually thinks, right? There's a gap there. We're going to fill that gap with information. When you fill that gap with information, then they can make a qualified decision on how to build this business. So if time is this is a great line. Everybody should embed this into their brain. If time is your only issue, we don't actually have an issue. And let me tell you why. Like, what a great thing to say to someone. Hey, if time is your only issue, we don't actually have an issue. And let me tell you why. See, very friendly. I'm not confrontational. I'm not trying to be a rebuttal to what they just said. I'm accepting what they said. But if time is your only issue, we actually don't have an issue. This is very lighthearted, right? And let me tell you why. Now take a look at this. I'm going to break that little sentence right there, that statement. I'm going to break this down. If time is your only issue, we don't actually have an issue. And let me tell you why. There's a reason why this statement works so well. Because if you look at it, you have what you want to have. You always want to have at least a balance of me's and I's to you and we. You, your, and we. So when you add up I and me in your statements, it should never outweigh the your, you, and we. All right, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because in this statement, we have the your and the we and the you lopsided. We have way more of them than we have the me and the I. We only have one me, and we have three of the your, we, and you. So it's 1 to 3. That's a great ratio. The higher you can get that ratio of 1 me to, or we'll call it 3 to 1. It's a 3 to 1 ratio. The higher you can get that ratio of the things that are about we, you, and your, the better success you will have in anything that you do, in your work, in your life, in your personal life. It doesn't matter. That's how it works. That's how people tick. All right. So the time objection turnaround. Well, when they say that, I don't have enough time. Well, if time is the only issue, right, then we don't have an issue. If time is your only issue, then we don't have an issue. And let me tell you why. And now you go into the actual time objection turnaround. We know you have at least 30 minutes a week because you just spent 30 minutes with me. They took a look at a video, you followed up with them, you talked, you answered any questions they have, you got them on a 3-way call, whatever. They went to a Zoom meeting, they looked at a 12-minute video, whatever. They definitely spent about 30 minutes of time, right? Minimum. Taking a look at the entire program and you following up with them as we talked about. So if we took 30 minutes next week and we found someone with 2 hours a week, you just quadrupled your time using the Think Plus business vehicle. That's just fact. When we do that for 3 months, we'll turn your 30 minutes per week into 24 hours a week. See, now let me go back to that one statement. So if we took 30 minutes per week next week and we found someone with 2 hours a week, see, how are you going to do that? Well, you're going to work with this particular prospect and you're going to help them in 30 minutes reach out to 5, 6, 10 people during that 30 minutes, and then you're going to help them with all the follow-up, right? Why wouldn't you do that as someone who's sponsoring them? They have 30 minutes a week. Great. Put their 30 minutes to use. Maybe they reach out to 3, 5, 10 people a week in 30 minutes. That's the key. Okay? You just turned what they think they can't do in 30 minutes into a reality. Let's reach out. Let's get some people to take a look at the video. That's how we find someone with 2 hours a week. When we do that for 3 months, we'll turn your 30 minutes per week into 24 hours per week. Because if you're finding someone each week that has 2 hours, some of them will have 10 hours. You're multiplying your time. Now your Think Plus business is growing while you're busy doing other things. Great statement. And over time, with 30 minutes of weekly repetition, sorting through people, having them take a look at a video, seeing who's like-minded, we can build an empire that can set you free. So correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the perfect business for people who have no time. Wouldn't you agree? You guys, that is gold right there, okay? This little segment, this little thing, whether you're a person who's talking to someone directly or whether you're a person doing a 3-way call, this is a great way to point out to people that, hey, what you just told them is that in the same amount of time you just took, we can actually build the business. We already know that you have that much time. You've taken the time objection off the table. All right, so now let's break this down again. Look at the we's and the you's and the yours versus the I's and the me's. We know you have at least 30 minutes a week because you just spent 30 minutes with me. I should probably highlight the me over there, right? I should probably do that because that is a highlighted me. I have to do it. I'm sorry, you guys. I just have to correct them when I can because I thought I went through all of them, but you know how it is. So let me go back and from current slide. There we go. Okay. So right here, we know you have at least 30 minutes a week because you just spent 30 minutes with me. So if we took 30 minutes next week and we found someone with 2 hours a week, you just quadrupled your time using the Think Plus business vehicle. When we do that for 3 months, we will turn your 30 minutes per week into 24 hours per week. Now your Think Plus business is growing while you are busy doing other things. And over time, 30 minutes per week, sorting through people, we can build you an empire that can set you free. You guys see how lopsided this is with you, we's, and your, and you, we, your, versus me and I. Correct me if I'm wrong. See, now I love this, the positioning of correct me if I'm wrong. That's so great because now you're putting I and me into the wrong spot. And you're actually this is actually making them think, wow, you're throwing yourself into the wrong category. Must be that you're right. There's a way that people think that's how it works, but correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the perfect business vehicle for people who have no time. Wouldn't you agree? We've got three me's in there. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. This is a fully lopsided, 4-to-1. This is probably 4-to-1 that this time objection turnaround works. It works in so many ways because you don't have to hit them with you're wrong. You don't have to tell people they're wrong. You just point out something that they didn't know about how long it actually takes to build this business. Now, you can do that if somebody says, well, I have 30 minutes a day. You can, instead of a week, that's fine. Now you're just you're just accelerating their time frame by 7x. So, you guys, that's how the time objection turnaround works. And this is something that anyone can utilize at any time. You don't even have to be perfectly accurate with every single line here, but you're just walking them across it's like you're walking them to the edge of the branch on a tree, and then you're handing them the saw to saw themselves off with the wouldn't you agree, because this is just systematic. You guys, so I wanted to share that with you, get this recorded. We'll post this into all of our channels as well. If anybody has any questions, anything like that, feel free to let me know. I'm here to answer questions. We'll take them by text or whatever. And you guys, it's been so exciting. I've just been realizing lately, it was 2 years ago that I was in Texas when we were launching the state of Texas. I went from Lubbock, Texas to Fort Worth, Texas to Dallas, Texas, down to Houston, Texas, and then back up to Lubbock, Texas, on a tour. And, at that time, it was like I had a military haircut. I don't know if you can see, but I don't have a military haircut anymore. I told some people in Texas, as soon as we have a down month, I'll stop growing my hair because it had grown from like 1/4 of an inch long to like a half an inch long. And people were like, wow, your hair is really long. Right. And so I said, I'll cut my hair as soon as we have a down month. And, that's where we are right now. And now it's like, you just look at it, it's just kind of ridiculous. But it's like my hair is like, if I pull it out straight with whatever the thing, it's like 17 inches long, you guys. So, guys, please help me out here. Could we have a down month at least so I can get back to my normal way of living life? This is getting to be ridiculous. So I appreciate everybody being here. We're having a lot of fun with this. And, you guys go out and have a great Think Plus day, a great Think Plus week. Hammer this thing out this week. Get everyone plugged into all of our events that we have going on, and let's have success at this. You guys, this is Tony Procopio, logging in from somewhere in Connecticut in the middle of nowhere. Well, somewhat nowhere. I appreciate you guys being here. We'll talk to you soon. Everybody have a great day. Tony Procopio, over and out.